Hello and welcome to another edition of the Get Growing Weekly Work Session with GetOiling. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of GetOiling, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. We're really glad you're here today.
We are, and we also have the incredible Julie and Colin from our team. What's up, you guys? Glad to have you.
How's it going, everyone?
If you are joining us live here on Zoom, head over into the chat. Let us know where in the world you're from, where you are today, and of course, how things are where you are. We like to hear from you. We're always excited to be able to have you join us in community on this live call. We host this every single week for Team Young Living. This is for anyone to join. It is free and it is every Thursday at noon Eastern US time. We're also live now in our Facebook group, Grow Online with GetOiling. So if you're in there, definitely give us a shout out, say hello. We are certainly excited to have you. We have folks from all over the world joining us here today. Special thanks to those of you who are truly on the other side of the world from here. I know, Connie, you're here you're in Japan. It's like the middle of the night for you. Excited to chat with you later today. So guys, we have a little bit of slides that we're going to get into just to kind of break down what we're going to talk about today, but we also are going to have, I think, a more concerted focus on a guide that I created for you. So if you're on our list, then you received that already. And of course, we'll be able to share that in the chat in the event that you can't find it. So today we're talking about how to use AI more effectively, and we're going to be focusing on using the Write with AI feature in GetOiling. Now, there are other AI services out there, but they don't know you like Write with AI and GetOiling does. Write with AI is built into the GetOiling platform and already knows the kind of work that you're logged in to do and the fact that you are a Young Living brand partner. So it can assist you in creating transitions in the things that you write, for instance, from talking about a particular wellness topic, transitioning into placing a product recommendation, for instance, or talking about some kind of cool thing about Young Living because it knows a lot and quite a bit about you in that regard. So this can save you tons of time and help you to feel more confident. Maybe if you're just getting started or you don't feel particularly strong as a writer or a copywriter, this is a great tool to use to help you to improve your skills or really to lean on if your focus really is in other areas. So I'm excited to share this with you. And of course, our team is as well. Make sure that you head into the chat. And if you have questions about today's content, please make sure if you're here on Zoom live that goes into the Q&A so that we don't miss it. And Julie is over in the Facebook group if we have any questions that come in there. So we're going to go ahead and pop out here as panelists a video so that you've got a nice little recording. And that will go into our YouTube channel, by the way. That is youtube.com/getoiling. While you're there, you should subscribe. And of course, we put all of our recordings there once they're processed. So again, welcome. We're so excited to have you here today. We're talking about AI prompts, and we'll talk about what that means. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. We're going to get into some little technical jargon today, and you are going to feel like a total boss master of this stuff by the time we're done. So we're going to talk about how we can save time and get better results using Write with AI included with GetOiling. So today we're going to get into what this feature is, what prompts are, and how you can become an engineer without a degree today. No, we're going to learn about prompt engineering, what that is and how you can use it. And then of course we have a resource for you to take advantage of. And as always, we do have that live help and Q&A. So if you have questions, if you need help with anything, as we're going through this content, please make sure that you're adding that to the Q&A so that we don't miss it. And if you would like to watch this live, join us live on Zoom like we are broadcasting today. Maybe you're seeing this in the Facebook group, or maybe you're watching this on YouTube in the future. Get onto this list, getoiling.com/weekly work session. We will only send you information about the upcoming calls that we'll have, the replays that we post, and of course, you'll be the first to receive any resources that come along with our trainings. And if you would like help on a one-on-one call, like several people have signed up for today, you can go to getoiling.com/website review. That is an opportunity to work together live on a call just like this one in the second half of the call, where you can bring any questions. If it's business strategy, if you're working on a website, or if you're just trying to get figured out like where your feet go next, where you start with GetOiling, how you make the most of how you want to use the system, this is a great free opportunity for you to get support. And of course, when you are supported here with the community, we all grow together. So definitely take advantage of this. And of course, if you know what you'd like, but you'd like for someone to do it for you, that is also an option. You can go to getoiling.com/concierge to learn more about our incredible team and how they can help you get things done. Now, question for you guys in the chat. Have you tried out the Write with AI feature yet in GetOiling? Is this something that you've used? Tell me a little bit in the chat about how you're using it. What are some of the things that you are doing with the Write with AI feature in GetOiling? I'm seeing some all the time. Yes. Awesome. Seeing it for blog posts. Fantastic. It's such a powerful way to use this. Such a powerful time-saving way to use this. Fantastic. Getting the summary of your blog as well. It's a great way to do it. Using it with vaults, creating online classes, using it for ideas or to rewrite things. Awesome. So guys, for those of you who aren't using it yet, today you're going to feel confident and I hope inspired to be able to use this. So first, let's talk about a little bit of terminology here, just so you're familiar. In the world of AI, whether you're using GetOiling's Write with AI or ChatGPT or whatever you like, prompts are the things that you provide the AI so that you can get the outcome that you're looking for. Okay, so a prompt, it's kind of like you could ask it a question or you could tell it to do something. You're prompting it to take an action. So that's what a prompt is. Okay. And prompt engineering is the practice of getting your prompts right. It's the practice of implementing and adjusting so that you are doing a better and better job of asking something of AI and getting the result that you want. All right. Now, we have resources today. This is something that you should have received via email if you are on our list. And of course, if not, then we can definitely pop those into the chat and they will be in the description below on YouTube for the recording. This is what we are going to be going over here, really the meat of what we'll be covering here today. And then, of course, we will be getting into our discussion, life help, and Q&A. So without further ado, I'm going to switch my share over and actually walk through this cheat sheet with you. All right, so here it is. It is in PDF format. You can simply click it and open it up. You could save this to your device if you like. So our prompts cheat sheet, you could also print this, just if that's helpful for you, if you're a physical paper person. Anyway, so our prompts cheat sheet here is really designed to help you get familiar with what this is for and how you use it, and very specifically helping you to build skills to use AI more effectively, and very specifically to use AI with the Write with AI feature in GetOiling, because what you're here for today, of course, is to work smarter in your business, and you use GetOiling for that purpose. And of course, we want you to get really good at using this feature so that you can get more done when you log in and use your system. So let's just start from the top here. Write with AI is, like I mentioned before, it's a built-in included feature with all GetOiling plan levels that allows you to harness the power of AI to create things inside of GetOiling. So if you want to write an email or text, if you want to have it rewrite maybe more effectively an email or text that you've written, if you want to create a blog post, if you want to create an entire online course or a presentation or class content, all of that is possible here using Write with AI. And the cool thing about this, and why I want you to really consider focusing on using the Write with AI in GetOiling, is because we already told the AI for you what you do. They already know Young Living. They know Young Living products, and they know that you're a brand partner and that you are looking to connect with people and to introduce them to Young Living and Young Living products and the lifestyle that incorporates them. They also know, this AI knows, that you are someone who is probably trying to build a list of leads, maybe an email list, a following of people on social media, through your blog, etc., and that you are creating content to attract leads and serve your customers and clients through things like online courses and events and website pages. It knows that stuff, right? So it's able to really give you targeted advice. And of course, targeted done for you writing, or mostly done for you, because you do want to make sure that you check for accuracy before you publish something. Now, we do talk about that particular point and other important things in an overview training that we did do already on our Write with AI feature. This links to a video on our YouTube channel. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. Now, like I mentioned before, prompts are the messages that you send to Write with AI and GetOiling, and prompt engineering is the practice of sending the right prompts to get the output that you're looking for. Now, I've broken this down, and I won't take credit for this. This is actually a cool thing that someone else came up with in the AI teaching community, but the CREATE formula for prompt engineering, love a good acronym. Character is the C in CREATE. And what this stands for, this character, is for you to define the character in the story here of the AI and their role, what we want them to do, and the position we want them to be speaking from, and who they're speaking to, right? So the example that we're giving here is you're telling this to AI, you are a seasoned wellness coach with over 20 years of experience. Write a blog post about getting better sleep for a busy, exhausted mom of toddlers in her 30s who dreams of an easier life. So make sure that we're really clear on who we want them to speak as, right? And to whom they are speaking. The more clear you are in what you give AI in the prompts, the more dialed in and correct the information is that you are going to receive, that you will then be able to go and put to use in your business. All right. Now, the R in the CREATE formula is for request. You want to make sure that you are being specific about what you're asking for. If you're only giving it generalized language, you are going to get results that aren't so awesome. So instead of saying, write a sales email about thieves cleaner, specify, write a compelling email about the dangers of chemicals that introduces thieves cleaner and is for this person, right? Another step in the CREATE formula is to give examples. This is technically something that you don't have to do, but it can be tremendously helpful. So if you have maybe some swipe copy that you've gathered from somewhere else that you really like, but you don't want to plagiarize, then you can say, here's an example of an email headline that I thought was really great. Write one for me like this that is for this email, right? And then it can give you subject lines, right? So in this case, you're giving it the request, you're telling it the character, but you can also paste in, here's an example of something that fits what I'm looking for. A is for adjustments. So if you didn't get the result that you were looking for, you can refine and then resend your prompt. This really is the most important part of prompt engineering. You want to be clear about what you're doing, right? Go in with a clear goal and be as clear as possible and descriptive as possible in asking for what you want. But if you aren't getting what you want, we do definitely have like a regenerate response button, and most AI softwares do. But what you want to do is take note, take a quick look at what you asked for and ask yourself, could I have been more specific? Think of yourself like a manager, for instance, and you have just hired someone who is very green and needs to be taught everything, or you need to give them very clear instructions. If they aren't seasoned in what you do as you are, then there's a solid chance that if you don't give them clear instructions, they're not going to complete a task the way that you want them to, right? So put that hat on, read what you asked for, read your prompt, and see if you can get a little bit more clear. So make sure that you're adjusting yourself as you go. You will get better and better at this with practice. T in the CREATE formula is the type of output. Make sure you're being very specific about the format that you're looking for. And you want to use things like word counts, for instance, or if you're asking it to write an email, telling it to include a compelling headline. And then E is for extras. Make sure that you're incorporating any important, unique instructions. So if you have a blog post where you're telling it to write about a particular topic, but you want to make sure that the blog post transitions into offering your lead magnet, then you need to make sure that you tell it what your lead magnet is and tell the AI to transition the writing toward a clear call to action at the end where they can take advantage of this thing that I offer, right? Other examples that I've put here as well are to only include reliable sources. If you're wanting to create content, but you want to make sure that maybe you're citing scientific studies, for instance, you could ask for that. You could also include things here like tone and style. Now, as we move ahead here, some simple prompts I would encourage you all to get started with today, just to play around with Write with AI. You could do this as much as you like. You could even teach AI, or sorry, you could have AI teach you something you didn't know. You could have it create a plan for you to learn something you didn't know. If you want to study something and get good at something, you can say, I want to learn this. Create a plan of study for me over the course of 6 weeks. Right? So what we can do here is say, help me write this email better. Teach me how to understand SEO at a basic level. Provide an overview of, I'll just use SEO again here, or provide an overview of copywriting for websites. What are the best practices in, right? Provide step-by-step instructions to what questions should I ask to better understand this or that, create a template for something, write a report on something. You guys, the sky is the limit for this. I know that if you are here today, you are someone who is at least to some significant degree invested in your personal growth. This AI is such a phenomenal tool for helping you discover better and more efficient pathways to incorporating your growth priorities into how you work. So don't just think about this as an output mechanism for creating blog posts and emails and course content. It's fantastic for that. If you feel like you are mentally overwhelmed with all the things that you want to do, you can have it help you generate a plan. Think about this as your assistant. It's really, really cool. All right, so some prompt ideas I've put together for you. This first one is for a blog post. So we're going to act as a seasoned health coach, and this assumes that you are this person, or maybe this is the authority from which you would like to speak on your website or on your blog. So I'm going to tell AI to act as a seasoned health coach with 20 years experience helping women lose weight. Write a 1,000-word blog post on my keyword topic. And this one I will use will be sleep for my audience. And of course, in audience here, we will say moms in their 30s with toddlers, right? With multiple toddlers. And then we'll say, explain why this, how that, and why that, right? And so this is where you get to break down really what you want it to cover. If you've done some basic keyword research, and again, you can ask prompt AI to teach you how to do some basic keyword research. So if you're creating a blog post, you can be very targeted in saying that I not only want to target the sleep keyword, but I also might want to talk about melatonin, or I might also want to talk about lavender, or I might also want to talk about sleep hygiene as a keyword, or whatever you might be looking for, right? Now, I'm also specifying include a call to action at the end of the blog post for the reader to download my recipe book that will help them get better sleep without, whatever, right? So you can put that kind of information there as well. We can tell it to write an authoritative and persuasive style and a friendly tone. Another example would be to write a greater than 1,000-word step-by-step guide on how to transition to a high-protein plant-based diet, include 2 recipes each for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and include a call to action at the end to watch my masterclass where my lead can learn how to get this outcome in this timeline. And you can also do something like this where you could say, here's an example of a guide that does this, and you could paste the content maybe from a guide that that you really enjoyed, that you saw from someone else. And of course, you want to show it that this is what I like, but of course, you don't want to steal or plagiarize someone else's work. But you can tell AI, this is what I really like. This does it really well. This is an example of this being like well done, right? So let's actually pop over into our Write with AI, and we will use this prompt here and see what we come up with. So I'm in Jane's account, and Write with AI you can find anywhere in your dashboard. And what I'm going to be doing here is creating a guide, and its contents I'm ultimately going to be exporting over to Canva so that I can create a PDF to use in a funnel. So what I'm going to do here is just use the Write with AI from the dashboard board. But if I were using a like creating a blog post, for instance, you should know when you are writing your blog post, if you are using Write with AI, this is a great tool to have right here as well, because you can just go straight into your blog post and plop in that information. But let's go ahead and click this, and I'm going to paste in the prompt that I've given as an example. And let's talk about my masterclass is going to be how she can, let's see, what's the outcome? Somebody give me an outcome. If somebody's going to go on to a high protein plant-based diet, what's she probably looking for? Is she looking to maybe lose weight without feeling hungry? How about that? Let's see. So we'll talk about how she can lose weight in 90 days without feeling hungry or deprived. How about that? Okay, so we're going to have it write this. Yes, and have more energy. How many products can we incorporate into this blog post? And let's see what kind of product. It might actually introduce products in this guide as well. Let's see. Sometimes it will actually incorporate Young Living products without you even telling it to, which is fabulous, especially if you're newer or you don't know the Young Living product lines as well, or you don't feel like you can speak to what they do authoritatively. This can be just such a powerful way to tap into that knowledge and those resources without you having to spend tons and tons of time. So we're going to give it just a minute here to generate the response. It is, of course, we're asking it to create something a little big. So sometimes it will take just a little bit for it to generate. So let's give that a moment. And then once it's done, remember, we can always go back and modify this. Here we go. So the title is Easy Steps to Transition to a High Protein Plant-Based Diet, right? And so we've got an intro. Here we go. There's our recipes. Ooh, this is really great. All right, how can we make this better? Let's engineer this, you guys. It's so many, there's so many recipes in here. This is fantastic. So how about we include who this is for? This is for a busy mom of young kids who probably has at least a part-time job, right? So she's very busy, she's working. Include some Young Living products in the recipes and recommendations. Now let's rewrite it and see what it comes up with. So you can actually take, again, your same thing here, and we're re-engineering this prompt to make it more specific and to get a better outcome, okay? So that is what that looks like. We'll come back here and check out what it comes up with here in just a minute. Now, another thing that we can do here with our prompt ideas is to become a better copywriter and a better communicator. So take an email, for instance, that you're preparing to write to someone, anyone, or maybe it's even something that you were going to DM to somebody. Maybe you're actually having a conversation with somebody on Facebook or on another social media platform, or you're writing a text or an email, whatever that might be. Write what you know you're going to write. And if you're the type of person that questions yourself and doesn't, feel confident in your communication skills, go to Write with AI and say, rewrite this email to make it sound this way while still being, in this case, I say persuasive. Provide a compelling headline and then paste the draft for your email. right? Now let's pop back over here and see how we're doing. All right, practical guide for busy moms. This is automatically a better title, right? A practical guide for busy moms. Now let's go through here and see. All right, we're recommending Pure Protein Complete. There we go. We're seeing the Vitality line in Plan and Prepare. There you go. This chia seed pudding incorporates Young Living Vitality oils. Guys, you could ask it for recipes for dinner that incorporate your Young Living products if you want to. That's pretty cool, right? We've got Young Living products throughout here, right? There's Lime Vitality in that recipe. Who knew you could do this? Pretty cool, right? I love it. Awesome. So this is something that you could then copy to clipboard and then take over, I would say ideally to like a word processor. And then you could get into your Canva and use, and you know what, let's just play around with this. Let's go create just as a quick show. We're going to look for a guide, a template for a guide. And oops, here we go. Here's a guide to wellness. How about that? So that's already designed for you. You could, of course, go over and, change this to your branding. It's got these different, things here, and then you can go in and paste part of what you got here right into your guide, right? And you can, where'd my Canva go? Here we go. You could put a recipe right here, and you could just have a page for each recipe. You could make it really pretty, and you've saved just so much time. You could pay somebody a couple $100s to create something like this for you, or you could become a better AI writer and then come over here and design it. Or if you know what you want to say, now you're outsourcing work to your assistant that is requiring a lot less labor than it would have if you were trying to get them to go from scratch, right? So you're really saving a ton of time with this thing specifically. Let me get back over here. All right. Another great thing that you can do is brainstorm for new content. So this is probably true of a lot of us here. I'm a seasoned expert in green home cleaning, and I help homeschool moms with multiple kids keep life clean and organized with healthy choices and smart routines. Can anybody raise their hand and say, you know what, I am kind of that, right? Okay, so then if we are writing from this perspective, we're going to ask AI to come up with 20 blog post topic ideas and include headlines. So now you can start planning out your future content. You could also ask for social media post content. You can say that you want it to outline a program that can help your clients get their mom life organized in 2 weeks. Let's go do that. Let's go see how that works in GetOiling. So I'm going to come over here and paste. And then I'm going to take the second part of my prompt here is I want them to outline a program that can help my clients get their mom life organized in 2 weeks. And this, again, is a prompt that could be refined further. This could be engineered further. What if I want to make sure that this is a 2-week program delivered via email, right? Where they get a daily email for 14 days. Maybe you want this to be a course. Now, we do actually have another training where we talk about the AI feature for courses for building your course outlines, which is super exciting. But here, let's take a look here. Introducing the Mom Life Organized in 2 weeks program. We've got week 1, Green Home Cleaning Mastery. Here we go. It's talking about thieves. We've got a cleaning schedule. We've got decluttering or getting into routines. We've got vitality oils. It's incorporating Young Living for you. So maybe you want to use this program and have it be really just how you position, how you work with people who get started with Young Living with you. If you want to focus on serving moms of kids who are busy and you want to help them get their mom life organized, you can ask AI to write that program out for you. And now you have a quote unquote program that you don't have to sell, right? But you can position this as, hey, I help moms get this outcome. And all you have to do is buy the products you need to implement the process. How cool is that? You don't have to become somebody who's selling courses and programs. You are just somebody who has a path to helping somebody get an outcome. And so long as they purchase the products that they need, and then you just want to make sure, and again, you can use AI for this purpose, that you can say, we're going to do this over the course of 90 days. In month 1, we need this much, or these products. Month 2, these products. Month 3, these products, right? You can actually design it around that. Maybe you want to design month 1 around the use of the premium starter bundle. Month 2, you want to focus on the use of the Thieves starter bundle. Month 3, the Ningxia starter bundle, right? And you can tell it to do that. It will give you everything that you need so that it doesn't take you tons and tons of time. How many of you guys have your gears turning right now? Thinking about how you can serve more dynamically, get people more engaged. And all you got to do is log into your GetOiling and ask AI to help you. Pretty simple. Awesome. So another thing that we can do here is to have it write a series of campaign emails to help educate and encourage your lead to book a call with you. It's another cool thing you can do. But again, the sky's the limit here. So much you can ask it to do. So our step-by-step here, if you are looking to become a better prompt engineer, which I think all of us are, the first thing we want to make sure that we're doing is defining our objective. So make sure that before you ask AI anything, you're clear. What is the thing that you ultimately want to create as a result of sitting down today and starting this process, right? So what is our objective? Then you come up with an initial prompt, right? So be as concise as you can be, knowing that you will be able to iterate. So construct your prompt, go ahead and put it in, right? And then we're going to evaluate and iterate. So look at the output, look at what the AI is generated for you from your prompt. And then, ask yourself, how can I be a little bit more clear about that? I don't love this. What do I want to make sure that it includes, right? And unlike the circumstance that would arise if this were the old days where you had hired an assistant and you have to send them back 40 times to rewrite the same article that you're trying to write, that's not a very good economy of time or money there, right? This is so low consequence and so low cost. You can go back and ask the AI as many times as you want to make this more appropriate to what you're looking for, and you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings in the process. And then finally, make sure that you are, when you're constructing these prompts, employing control mechanisms. And what that means is that you are utilizing things like telling it about the tone that you would like for it to use. You're asking it to write in a particular style for you, if you want it to be persuasive, if you want it to be technical, and then any other commands, right? So things like, asking it to cite sources and things like that. All right, so that is your cheat sheet. I hope you guys download that and get lots and lots of use out of it. Head over into the chat. Let us know, how are you going to use AI this week? What are you going to do today to start using AI differently? And if you're new to us and you don't have a GetOiling account yet, we do have plans that start as low as $7 a month. And that is something that will serve you very well, especially if you're just getting started as a brand partner, just getting started sharing. Our seed and starter plans are 7 and 14. Our basic and higher plans are most popular ones that have our full feature sets. Those are $1 for your first month, so it's very low consequence to get started. So definitely hop in and start using AI today. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with and what you start creating. So we do have, as mentioned, a live review. Anna Connie, I know you mentioned in the chat that the baby might have woken up, so you might have needed to run off. When you come back, just raise your hand up and let me know so that we can bring you out and chat. Anna Connie is overseas, and it's very late where she is, so I want to make sure that we have that time and space available so we can make the most out of the time she set aside for this. Brenda asks, are you able to print out what AI comes up with? If you were to paste it into a document, sure, you totally could. All right, Tina says, I've not watched the other training, so apologies if that was answered here. Is this feature available in English only or also in other languages? That's a really good question. I haven't played around with it in other languages. Greg, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I was just testing it out actually. I've tried Spanish and Japanese, and according to Google Translate, the results are in Spanish and Japanese. So it does generate other languages. Now, you'd have to know the language in order to know how high quality it is, but it does appear to work with other languages. I don't know if it's like every language, but I'm guessing it's the mainstream one.
I would be really surprised if it did a poor job at translating, just because of just the volume of data that AI has access to and is trained on. So yeah, definitely give it a shot. Colette, hi Colette. Question from you. All right, not an AI question, but curious. I've recently added GetOiling texting to my GetOiling site. Most of my contacts are marked email and text for communication preferences. Now they're getting double communication from me. So they're receiving my email or my newsletter via email and text. Can be annoying to them and expensive for me, yes. Do I have to go through all my contacts and manually choose only one option? Some contacts want my newsletter via email, others want it via text. So I can't choose only one way to send it when I create it. I create and send this type of content as a single page campaign with images and buttons. So what I would recommend, Colette, is that you take that campaign that you create and it's okay. So the way that I like to do this is that you go email only or you go text only, right? It's one or the other because people don't love getting both, right? And it is expensive for you. It uses up a ton of your marketing credits. So if you're formatting it for email, then make it email. And you just want to make sure that over the course of, maybe a few weeks and your regular communication with the folks on your list, that you're letting them know, hey, if you would prefer text, click here, right? And if you already have their phone number, which you do if you're importing their VO file, then you could just use an automation and that would remove them from the email campaign and it would add them or tag them with text or add them, in that way. So it would basically what you want to do is let them adjust their preferences. And then the campaign that you're currently sending out is something that you would do on an either or basis. Another thing too, campaigns they're really designed to be a thing that you use on an automated basis. So if somebody signs up on a landing page, they're able to get something automatically. If you're using saved replies, then you could control this very easily as well. So if you're creating an email or text that you're going to send out, that can be based off of a template that you've already created. And then you could just go through your list and filter the email preference people and send out an email, filter the text preference people, send out a text, right? Another thing that you could do if you want to make it is an extra step, and I think this is probably the more precise way to go about this, is to create a page in your GetOiling account and have a form on the page where they're going to check, I want email or I want text, and you're going to use an automation in that page form where they get tagged with email preference or text preference. So it would be like an either or. Let me see. I guess Anna Connie, just calling out to you again. If you're back, just raise your hand and let us know or send us a message so we can make sure that we can get to you. But if you are not back yet, I'm going to actually pop over here really quick and show you, Colette, what I'm referring to. Okay, so in Pages, essentially what you would do, I'm going to create a blank page. And maybe just do this one here. Maybe this is a picture of you. And we'll say, pick your preference, right? So, and we'll say, I only want to send you what you want to see. So please pick below from these options.
You trying to share your screen? I'm not saying.
I am, and thank you for calling
Okay.
that out. Yes. I should be showing this. Thank you. All right. So what I've done here is I've created a page and I've just added this section right here, this photo left text, right? You could do whatever you want here. So pick your preference. And I'm actually going to remove the rest of this stuff here. I'm gonna delete this. And then I'm just gonna type in form. I want to put the form on the page. So I type in form right there and hit done. Then we'll go to settings, leads. We'll put the form on the page and then we'll say, choose your preferences below. All right. And so then we'll add a field that's required. And this is going to be a drop-down list, pick one. And we will put email or text, right? And then we're going to put that here, edit list, add item, email, add item, text. And then here we're going to tag them with email. And here we will tag them with text. So when we add that, oops, we go done here. This is required. Maybe send a quick response here, or actually you don't need to send a campaign at all. So we'll put no campaign and maybe just send them to a page that you create that says your preferences have been updated. Something simple like that. And so once you've got this made, they'll pick this. They need to put their phone number in here. Obviously, if you don't have it already, they can pop it in there. And then you don't want it to say get me started, but you get the gist. That's how you would set something like that up. And then you could just focus on sending that out to everybody via email and text, whatever information you have for them. And just really focus on, hey, I want to make this the best experience for you. I'm prioritizing you. Please do me a favor and you a favor by filling this out, and just promote this thing. And then moving forward, you would just be filtering your contacts for the email people or the text people moving forward. Okay. Did Anakani come back? I hate that she stayed up so late. Okay. Anybody else have questions while we are still here? If you want to talk about some of the things that we can do with AI. One of the things that that I've been doing with it recently, I'm somebody who just really loves to learn and nerd out on stuff. And I wanted to get more practical in my approach. And so I've been personally getting back into yoga and yoga philosophy recently. And so I've actually been asking AI to help me generate a plan for 6 weeks for 30 minutes a day to study this concept. You can do that. If there's something you want to get better at, you can do that, right? And it's just such a cool thing. You don't have to have a paid account anywhere other than right here where you need your tools for growing your Young Living business. Hi, Anakani. All right, you're back. Let's bring you out. Hello.
Hi.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Awesome. So I know we've emailed back and forth a little bit. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what you're looking for. I think I understand you have sort of like an umbrella with a few things underneath it in terms of what you offer. And you're kind of wanting to get clear on the direction you take and how you combine those things, right?
Yeah. So I own Fat Mermaids, which is primarily started as a paddleboard and yoga kind of wellness company. And then I started with Young Living, and I got pregnant and I went into this whole wellness direction, and there's just certain content that doesn't necessarily in line with Fat Mermaids. And so I decided to rebrand and start kind of a different company, which I have now, Mindful Roots Hub. So I've been tweaking my GetOiling website a little bit by little. And I chatted with Julie originally because my idea was that I'll just get another GetOiling account and host them separately. And she was like, well, I think you should just put it all under one. So you can see it's still in working progress, but it seems to be working in terms of the separation. I just don't know if I made the right choice to create almost that feeling of a second website, but having it still be hosted under Fat Mermaids.
Yeah. So I know we'd been back and forth a little bit via email just to make sure that I've got a sort of bigger picture of everything that you're doing here. One of the things that you had mentioned in our correspondence was that you were, I think, kind of interested in transitioning in a direction of being more virtual in what you offer. Would you say that's
Yes.
the case? Okay.
Yeah.
And with a lot of like what you do with Fat Mermaids, this is not virtual, right? I mean, a great deal of this is like in-person oriented. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, paddleboarding is still very much an in-person thing, but there are
Mhm.
some things that I can and I'm trying to transition into an online space, like doing like a 12-week couch to 5K sub challenge where it's all primarily in an online course. And then if you're here, in Okinawa, you can take a lesson with me to really get on the board and see, or, take it to the next level. I'm really just trying to guide people that I can into my sub instructors training, which is basically my high ticket kind of item. But that's basically where the rest of it started to come in, because then I started to offer prenatal yoga, which is very something easily that I've now started to transition into an online platform, because that I don't have to physically, there's no water element involved, and I can technically take it virtually if they want.
Mhm.
And just yoga in general, because there's fitness workouts that I can help people, so that if you're a true beginner and maybe really out of shape, I can help you get into shape so that you can actually start to be physically in that space to be more
Mhm.
confident on the water. But Fat Mermaids in general, it was started to basically promote body positivity in not just the water sports, but also in yoga. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be SUP. SUP is technically not a full year service that I can provide, because the water does get cold even here in Oki, and a lot of people just aren't willing to go. And so these other things kind of supplement that business aspect. So you can see I built an actual online course already. It's just a really quick mini prenatal stuff. So I'm in the season of motherhood. I'm a first-time mom to a 16-month-old. And so it's just my way of pivoting into what I'm basically doing on a day-to-day basis. So
Okay.
I'm like your Facebook and YouTube stalker. I watch all of your replays. I'm doing your branding, my marketing. I'm following you on Attractwell now. And so you can see some of the elements of some of the training. It's been a lot. GetOiling is just an amazing platform, and there's just so many options. And so it was really just, how do I make it work for both the young
Mhm.
living side of where I want the business to also kind of tap into, as well as just continue on my path with, the paddleboarding and the yoga.
Got you. Okay. So I know from what you've shared with me that we've got distinctive names, right? And they're apparent on your website as well, right? We've got Fat Mermaids, we've got Mindful Roots Hub, and then there's a family wellness piece. But what these are, they're offerings, right? So there is an umbrella that is Anakani, right? And then
Mhm.
there's the stuff that you do. And you can, in any season, do varying amounts of that stuff, but none of those are your business. You are your business, and those are the things your business does, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
what you might want to consider, especially if the in-person and paddleboard related stuff is not your big picture future focus, then you might want to consider pulling back and branding, not from what you do, but from who you are, right? And then in that way, you don't have to worry quite so much about creating a wholly different experience, right? A completely
Okay.
different branded site or offering. It's almost like you could look at it like this. If you go to, I'll give you an example, marieforleo.com. Now, Marie Forleo has her website. She's got loads of content. She's like one of my spirit animals. She's incredible. Anyway, great, marketing guru person and worthy of everybody following here. But anyway, so this is hers, her brand. It's got all of her stuff. Her main thing is about like creating the life you want, right? And the business that you want. She's got different ways of going about doing it. Now, with her courses, if we look at Time Genius, which is one of her more recent ones, you'll see that there's, here's this pink, here's this yellow. Time Genius has its own logo and brand. There's not a sales page active for that right now. The Copy Cure also has its own brand, and like you can actually see some of that in here. And so these are different experiences that she offers. They're things that she does. Now, the pink and the yellow are things that actually echo throughout her brand. Generally, you can actually see this is like on her homepage. She's got some pink, she's got some yellow. So, I mean, nothing is wildly different from the core brand hub. But she is like, her brand is Marie Forleo, right? And then Marie has these very different experiences. B School is in person. She does it once a year. Copy Cure is virtual. She does it once a year, and she doesn't run these things at the same time. And so you have these different pathways to working with her that fall under courses. So for you, this could be work with me, and work with me could mean in person, and then you have an in-person page. Work with me could be virtual, and then you've got a page with, prenatal. We've got a page with this, a page with that, etc. And so you've got a way to kind of open up those pathways that are more related to the information that's relevant to your person. Because I don't think that they need to have a wildly different experience going from, really what is like the soul of your message of body positivity, which I think permeates all of this, right? And it's all interconnected. You don't really have to labor to create something wildly different for each of the things that you do. You just need to be visually distinctive enough so that people understand that that's the path that they're on, right? And that really can be accomplished by just branding and offering, like you've done with, with SUP, or like you may be working on doing, with like your maternity course, right? So yeah, so I don't know. I would think about that. I think that Fat Mermaids as a brand name is awesome. And I think that if you keep that as your umbrella of your brand, as sort of like your main thing, then you're just going to want to make sure that in your sort of hero section, your above the fold section of your main website, that you're providing a little bit of clarity about like, well, what does that mean, right? You need to basically say what you are actually doing here, like about learning patients' health and tranquility. But what we're actually doing is a bit bigger than that, right? Because if Fat Mermaids encompasses these other things that you're doing, then we can say that Fat Mermaids is all about helping you feel alive and thrive in your own body, right? Here are the different ways we can help you. And then you go into classes, or like, in person, here's paddleboard stuff, or in person or virtual, here's yoga, or virtual, here's, the nutritional stuff, or this is the prenatal stuff, or the, the through pregnancy stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I ended up investing in a invisible to in-demand kind of marketing thing, and their feedback was that Fat Mermaids was something that maybe I needed to get away from, which is what stemmed Mindful Roots Hub from that training. Because they're like, well, from my standpoint, I feel like with Fat Mermaids, you bottlenecked yourself within the niche. In the sense that when I see Fat Mermaids, I feel like I have to either feel like I need help with self-confidence or self-esteem, and I have to like mermaids in order to like your brand. And I'm like, well, I don't want that to be something that is a feeling. I mean, I like mermaids. Water is my feng shui element, so that's why I'm drawn to it. But it wasn't necessarily intended to make people feel either of those things. And
Sure.
like I said, Fat Mermaids, I'm trying to rebrand it so that it's clear that it is not just a paddleboard and yoga company. It's more of a movement to
Mhm.
make people feel good about themselves in their own body.
Right, right.
So are you suggesting that that I do keep Fat Mermaids and just kind of rebrand that my homepage to be more reflective of the overall umbrella of everything that I offer?
So I think that the feedback that you received is probably correct. I think that there is a way to, and it would take it would be a little bit of labor for you to like explain like why this is for the person who might be like, yeah, but is that for me? I understand what they're getting at. If you are in a
Mhm.
place where you are open to and prepared to undergo a bigger rebrand, then I would encourage you to do that. But I don't want to tell you that that's the only path, because it's not. There is definitely a way to use this, but if you are in a place where you have that openness, like I just mentioned, then it would be a good
Mhm.
move to maybe brand your name, right? And then you
Okay.
could still use the Fat Mermaids Club, you're branding that URL. So you could say, hey, go to fatmermaidsclub.com. And then that takes them to the Fat Mermaids page on your, Thrive with Anakani website, or however you, want to kind of brand the umbrella. I think it would be
Okay.
more effective to neutralize the, well, I don't want to say neutralize, but to make the umbrella brand more you. And then you
Okay.
can really blow up these individual offerings like Fat Mermaids, which is completely thought out, well conceived, and something that can stand on its own. And you could just point the URL to that page on your GetOiling site. And then you don't have to really do as much mental gymnastics or worry about your potential leads having to do mental gymnastics to figure out whether or not they want to be a part of a Fat Mermaids Club when they, don't necessarily identify like those folks said.
Yeah. So from a GetOiling perspective, is that just kind of the process of trying to find out whether AnconnieWalters.com is available and just having I help kind of attach that and take away Fat Mermaids, or how does that work? Or should I just reach out to them after this call?
That's definitely a worthy thing to do, is to just reach out to the
Okay.
team. I would be honestly, I would be a little shocked if your name isn't available.
Yeah.
It's probably available. Yeah, Colin says yes.
Okay.
He already looked it up, and I think Julie did too. They're both nodding. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I would encourage that, because you're going to come up with so many offerings, and you're clearly a very creative and inspired person. Like, you're going to be coming up with new things well into the future for many years. And if you've got a home to put them where they all fit, then you're going to be able to keep doing that without any feeling of restriction. But yeah, I do
Yeah.
think that giving you're going to buy a bigger house, and Anakani's things will fit inside of it, right? So all of these different ideas will be able to live in one home, and if that home's name is yours, then anything that you want to do is going to fit just fine in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where everything's been pointing to. And I think that I just needed some confirmation from somebody, from a third party. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so happy to be able to help, and we'll stay in touch via email. Definitely reach out about the domain piece. But if you want some feedback, I know it's really difficult for you to be able to be live on these calls. So just feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Bye.
All right. Thank you guys for sticking around. Let's see. Yeah, Jackie, I think that was a good point. Why not keep fat mermaids and redefine what it is by including the other things? That is sort of like door number 2 that I was mentioning. It is a little less optimal though. If she's in a place where kind of doing sort of an overhaul of how things are structured and what the experience is on the website, the best move would be to create an umbrella brand that can hold all of the different things instead of trying to explain to people why their initial perception of something is wrong. Because that's going to be what, if Fat Mermaids is the thing, then she's going to have to be explaining why Fat Mermaids is also all of these other things forever. And it's just a little bit easier, and it supports conversions in a huge way for things to not have to be explained, because for a lot of people, they won't go through the trouble of even asking the question. They'll click off, they'll be gone, and you never really had the opportunity to connect with that lead. So yeah, awesome. All right, you guys, well, thanks for sticking around. And yeah, we'll be back same time next week. If you have any suggestions, any questions, anything that you would like to learn about, let us know. And of course, we'll be back for another round. Have a great week, everybody.